at the moment. So yeah, that takes about 50 seconds or a bit more, a bit less for the commercials to be over. But I think that's the usual thing when live begins. So normally I won't talk about anything important, although I don't generally, I guess, do important talks here, or I haven't done them so far. Anyway, just thought to see what's up, see if people join, if we have a bit of a chat. And yeah, we can say hello to the weekend. It's Friday, so hope that you folks don't have to work or go to school on Friday, and we can then have a great 2 days or 2.5 days ahead of us. Baka Dun Baka Dunina Kuchinja says, Belgrade, Serbia, like from Grandma Duda's kitchen. Good luck. Thank you for wishing good luck, and same to you, and hope you enjoy your weekend, Grandma Duda. So that's very, very nice of you. And yeah, we have just one thing that I wanted to mention before we move on. Happy from the heart. Thank you very much. And I hope, yes, you are feeling very happy and are feeling well as always. Thank you very much for your comments. Happy for you as well. And yeah, hope you have a wonderful day and wonderful Saturday and Sunday as well. Yeah, I just wanted to mention in the last chat, maybe I didn't make it that clear. I tend to be a bit distracted still with things going on, and maybe I don't react right how I want to at first because I'm still, I guess, new to this. But I just wanted to mention that I don't feel that or don't think that microwaves are dangerous in any way. So yeah, that's just something that we should have gotten clear from the last chat from yesterday. So there's no indication that they are in any way harmful. Of course, studies should be done, but more and more. But yeah, so far that's it. O says Noi, and he or she said hello, hello back. Thank you for joining the chat, and hope you're having a great Friday and a great weekend ahead of us. If anybody has any kind of questions or things that they want to mention or say, feel free to use the chat, and we'll see where the conversation takes us. Good luck to everyone in the chat, says Baka Dudinya Kuchinya. So thank you for that. And likewise to you. Yeah, I was just thinking of mentioning like what kind of a weekend do you folks have planned, and what kind of a weekend is a good weekend in your book or books. And for me, I like to be active and I like to be outside if possible, especially when the weather is nice. Now it's kind of nice. It's cloudy, but still, it's good to be outside, like by the lake, for example, or the river. Sub like Bell, thank you. Yes, thank you for that, Grandma. It's definitely something that we should all do. Subscribe and like the video if you want to, and thank you for that in advance. And even if you don't subscribe, thank you for being here. So yeah, for me, and I usually try and plan my weekend that way. I want to be outside and go to different places, sometimes go downtown and have a walk, enjoy the vibes, or go to the lake, to the riverside, go to a park or hiking. Anything like that is a good weekend in my book. If it's raining, then a walk in the rain won't melt me, so I can do that as well, but sometimes watching a movie, a good movie, would also do. And speaking of movies, I recently saw, I want to remember the right Hail Mary or Project Hail Mary. And yeah, for you folks that like sci-fi, I would definitely recommend it. It's starring Ryan Gosling, and it's a fun movie. It's funny, it's adventurous, it's a big adventure, and overall has like a good feel, good vibes, dangerous as well because it is an adventure, but still it's a fun movie. I don't want to mention anything about the movie, so I don't want to give you spoilers. But it's basically traveling. It's space travel, and most of the movie takes place in space. So yeah, have a go at that movie if you like sci-fi again. I can run faster than you, says Zero Cool Ninja 887. And yeah, that might be true. I like sprints, but I don't do sprinting as much as I did before. And usually, if I run like a 5K. I don't like to run too long. Like I don't run marathons. Just playing. Well, either way, why not? I'm not that fast, so you might be right. And thank you for leaving the comment. By the way, appreciate it. So yeah, my question would be, what do you plan for this weekend, folks? Or what would you like to do? So sometimes we have plans, but then we can't always do them. But yeah, what would be a perfect weekend? Would you travel somewhere? Would you stay at home? Would you just uh, spend it with somebody or alone? Would you go to the city or not? Anything like that. Or if you have any other comments or questions or anything, we can go into a different direction with this. So anything goes in this live, and I'm just glad I had time to do it and that I can talk with you folks at least a little bit. And so yeah, for what was I mentioning? The running, yeah, running's fun, but I find it like for people that don't like to run in general, I find it that sprinting hits them best because it's a short burst of energy. You don't run for very long, but it is very effective. You know, you don't hit your joints that hard, and it's good exercise. So yeah, sprinting definitely something to that we can enjoy. Although I would recommend, you know, warming up before you do a sprint because you don't want to get injuries as it is a very intense exercise and healthy, good for everything, for your muscles, for your bones. So yeah, sprinting is very good. I wasn't planning on talking about exercise, but here we are. So yeah, that's one thing. And what else did I want to say? Right. So movies. Have you folks watched any movies lately? That yesterday we talked about food, so I'm skipping that conversation at the moment. And before that we talked about fitness and health and stuff, so we can skip that for now unless anybody has a particular thing that they would like to discuss. And as always, I apologize for the loud noise. There's a train going by there, so it can get a bit loud, but it passes quickly, and then hopefully you can still hear me. And tomorrow's Saturday, so I'll be doing, hopefully, usually I have more time on the weekends, so I'll do a more active live, maybe just going around the neighborhood or some other part of the city. But yeah, I like a live while walking. I can take you folks for a walk, and it could be a bit more interesting. People seem to like it a bit more, and I get to get my steps in and a bit of exercise. So works for me, works for you folks, and yeah, that's a good combination. So yeah, I didn't have a particular topic. I just wanted to see where things go, where the chat leads, and yeah, just wanted to mention that what good weekend consists of, at least for me. So yeah, that would be it. Like activities, maybe a good movie, activities with nice rest in between. So like a long walk, with sitting for a coffee or drinks um, as stops for rest and then continuing the walk is pretty nice, especially if it's in a nice area. Like, for example, the area here has a lot of greenery, so there's hiking and stuff, but then again, you won't find a coffee shop in the middle of the forest, so that doesn't work. However, there's some parts of the city that are annoying and are not the best for. What is that accent? Asks Old Man FB. Well, I don't know. You tell me. I'm not sure where I would place my accent. I'm honestly not sure if I can say where I would see it. It's not a Texas accent for sure, and it's not British. So somewhere in, I guess, northern states. But yeah, that's some people would say I have an Canadian accent. But yeah, it's you be the judge. I don't know. I wouldn't be accurate in that description. But it's a fair question. It's just an accent that I guess developed or picked up through different media and like movies and talking with people and so on. But what I find interesting is when I was having, because before I was an English teacher, and I had a bunch of students from Asia. They would think that I have a British accent, and I was trying to convince them that it's not. But for them, it sounded British, so I was like, okay, if you say so. It's NE. Where are you from? So I'm from Serbia. It's not an English-speaking country, and I developed my accent through learning English and just picking it up from movies, cartoons when I was younger, and then later on when I was talking with other people. Yeah, it's New Englandish. Okay, interesting. Um, I I can't disagree with you there. So yeah, thank you. I don't have a particular accent that I'm aiming for, so I'm not even sure that I could do a good accent. Um, Asia says, hello, bro. Hello back. Glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Um, where are you now? Sorry to hijack your chat. Yeah, no, no. Any question, any chat comment is welcome. I didn't prepare anything specifically for today, so anything goes. So you folks feel free to ask anything, mention anything. And like five, thank you very much. And thank you for liking. And please subscribe if you want to follow more of this and some other videos that I'll be making hopefully in the future that are different from lives. And so to answer your question, where am I now? I am currently in the capital of Serbia, which is called Belgrade, and that is like southeastern Europe. Usually people, when they hear it, they would think Siberia, and so they think way up north in Europe, but no, this is much more south than Siberia. And the language here is closest, I would say, to like Russian. I'm from Bosnia. There we go. And Allman says, Serbia. So yeah, there you go. That works. Yeah, it's went through hell in the 90s. Yeah, it was definitely not a good time in the whole region, unfortunately. So yeah, that was a bad time for everybody. Hey, how are you? So yeah, this is the chat is translated automatically. But I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, and hope you are as well, brother. And so yeah, it's the region is in a much better situation at the moment, but there are still, of course, some issues that remain in like politics and all that. So it's not all gone, but it's nice for people to visit. There's a lot of interesting things to see, to try out in Serbia and the countries around it as well. So the food, the nightlife, the nature is nice as well for people that like hiking, and there's mountain climbing, sure. There's riding in the rivers and all kinds of fun. Welcome to Serbian. Yeah, exactly. So people from all over the world are welcome in these parts, in these countries. So same with Serbia, with Bosnia, with Montenegro, and all the other countries here. So yeah, it's a nice place to visit and to try, different things. For me, at least, I love traveling. So whenever I go to different countries, I like to try, the food and everything. And Cat Wayne says, hi, hello back. Nice to have you in the chat. Thank you for joining us. And in the chat, anything goes. Hello from Alberta, Canada. Excellent. So way up north. I hope you're having a great time there. Nice, weather. And I know Canada is definitely colder than here usually, but I still hope that you're having some nice weather and no snow at the end of May. That would be too bad, at least for me. But yeah, thank you for joining us, and everybody, thank you as well for liking the video. And if you would like, of course, subscribe. That helps me and helps the channel grow, and hopefully helps me create better videos. Oldman says, had a lot of mates visit the area and can't speak higher about it. Would love to get there when I head to Europe, but I have too many mates to catch up with in the UK. Yeah, of course, that's fair. I think, when you have friends somewhere, or friends, or just, people you meet, and people in general make the whole experience what it is. When sometimes you might run into someone who's got a bad attitude and just overall not a good person, they might ruin the experience and vacation for you. But when you are there with good people, good vibes, then wherever you are, it just is a much better experience. So of course, you should head to UK if you have a lot of friends there. Definitely better than going to a country where you don't maybe know anybody. And so yeah, it should be higher on your list. Excellent. 4 a.m. and 9 degrees Celsius for now. Wow, okay, that's pretty cold, but I guess it gets much colder. And thank you, by the way, for calculating it in Celsius for us. Cat Wayne asks where I am. Where are you? So I am in Serbia. This is the capital city of Serbia, although you don't actually see that it's a city because of all the greenery at the moment, but trust me. And yeah, here it's, I don't know what the temperature is right now, but at like 25-ish Celsius. 25, and in the shade, like it's cloudy, as you can see. So it gets much hotter in the summer here and much colder in the winter. So summer is like 35, winter is -5, -10. That's what we use Celsius. Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you used Fahrenheit as Americans as well. So that's much better metrics. Oman says 11:30 and 13 degrees Celsius. Okay, so there we go. 13 is better than 9. And you are, so Cat got up, and I guess, old man is gonna, go to sleep soon, and Cat just woke up. So great to have people from all over the globe. We're calling for 19 degrees today. Nice. 19 is a nice, and plus like 13, and then you have 19 from 9 to 19. That's a solid jump, but it's not um, like not too big of a jump, which is great because here it can be like 5 in the morning and then 25 in the afternoon. That's like a huge jump. It just messes with you. You don't know what to wear if you go early to work, for example. Old Man says, do the math. Where am I? That's a great question. So I wouldn't know where to start. You being, um, so you would be somewhere maybe, well, you're definitely south from um, Canada, from Cat here. But where could you be? Maybe you have good um, weather. It's not too cold. So let's guess where Old Man might be. Um, let's say US, and let's say 8 versus 8 a.m. versus 11:30. Yeah. So where could Old Man be? I have like no idea about the time zone differences when it comes to like Europe. Sure, I kind of oriented myself, but for US or other continents, it's tough. So let's say Old Man's from I just like south, so let's say southern United States. Cat is in Canada at 8 a.m. and I'm at 11:30. Yeah. So could you be maybe Asia? Yeah. Same here. This winter was crazy. We would be minus 20 one day and plus 15 the next. Yeah, that's crazy. US is same time as Canada. Right. Yeah, yeah. But there's, for example, you have time zones in the US that are different, and you have, let's say, some very far places of US like Hawaii, much different time zone than, say, New York. But okay, let's say I think Old Man is in the UK maybe. Well, no, UK would be just an hour difference from here. So here it's 4 p.m. UK is 3 p.m. So Old Man's then maybe in Asia. So maybe let's say Vietnam. How about that? Are we close? Sri Lanka time 7:42 p.m. Says Planet One or Vehicle Planet One. Getting warmer, says Old Man. Okay, so we're warmer with Asia, but not Vietnam. Japan, for example. I love Japan, but Vietnam is never 13 degrees. Okay, fair point. Vietnam's pretty hot. So could it be Japan? Subscribe, please. Yes, subscribe, please. Thank you for that. I would very much appreciate it. Hopefully, with more and more subscribers, the channel can grow and content can be maybe nicer, better, with higher quality and all that. So thank you in advance. And even if you don't subscribe, thank you for being here. Philippines. Okay, maybe Philippines. It's autumn here, heading into winter. Could it be Philippines? Philippines are pretty hot though, right? At the moment, or overall. So is it Philippines? Cat guesses. So you're heading into winter, then that could be that because you're heading into winter and we're heading into summer, then you'd be like Australia. There we go. Australia, Old Man. Is that correct? We have Australia, and I was gonna say Australia, but now I can guess maybe bingo cat. There you go, Old Man. Thank you. That was fun. Geographic quizzes. where are you from? Asks Planet One. So here we have Old Man is from Australia, Cat is from Canada, I am from Serbia, and where are you from, Planet? We'll see. Planet One. I like calling you Planet One even though you have the vehicle in front of you. I remember that from high school, lol. Cool, yeah. So, speaking of high school, what kind of subjects did you guys like? Or folks? What kind of subjects were you into? I liked, I don't know, psychology and what was it? Literature. Those were the things that I was good at. Um, but then it never turned out that I would go down that path in like university. I liked languages too, but ancient and modern history. Awesome. Do you think cats can become world renowned Hollywood actors? Asks Hassam. Sure, with AI, anything's possible, so why not? Give it a few years and we'll have cats and dog actors everywhere. And everybody likes cats, so, you know. So yeah, ancient and modern history is awesome. Like recently, I, for example, my wife, she studied Greek in university, and I myself like Greece, and then I like the history there, and you know, the ancient history of Greece, but I also like the Greek myths, and it can be a lot of fun. Kat says I liked law, consumer math, and economics. Awesome. Very important subjects. For economics, did you like, because here, I know in economics, it just a few people get mentioned, but maybe you studied more about like, say, Milton Friedman, because he won the Nobel Prize and he was an important economist, sorry. So yeah, did you, for example, maybe do you like his school of thought, or there's Thomas Sowell, who became popular. Maybe now he's not that popular, but he was after Friedman, after Milton Friedman. Thomas Sowell, I guess, was the next very popular economist of the time. Um, can you represent me, Kat, in an upcoming international trade dispute? There we go. That would be great if you got some help here. I would feel real happy that this chat helped two people, you know, come together and help each other. Hope you have you know, a good, favorable outcome in that dispute. Old man, it's I've never myself been involved in something like that, but I assume it's a lot of hassle and a lot of paperwork, a lot of back and forth with the courts and all that. It's probably not a lot of fun, and I guess it takes a lot of your time. So sorry about that, but I hope it, you know, ends quickly. Kat says any subject that what practical and I that was practical and I could apply to day-to-day subjects like algebra, I could not get my mind around. Right, yeah. um, so algebra is, yeah, like for me as well. If someone talks about algebra or metaphysics and, you know, particle physics and all that, I also like just cue out. I sign out and not following. But practical subjects are, for me as well, much easier to focus on and learn. If a book has a title, How to Become Racist, would you judge it by its cover? Well, yeah, I mean, that saying, don't judge a book by its cover, there's some books that we judge books by their cover. That's a given, whether we want to or not. Um, Old Man says, you know it. So yeah, definitely. Um, we with a book like that, it's a given. It's like 100% you would judge it. But I was thinking of any other books as well that we see. We tend to judge them by their covers at least a little bit. The same goes with people. Like when you see someone, how they're dressed, how they walk, how they talk, it's all part of like the nonverbal communication. And we got something working in our brain. Even if we don't want to, it's still there, and we form some opinions just based on that. No, I would have to read some of it to make my own opinion on it first. That's fair. By judge, you mean don't buy it. Okay, interesting. Um, that's an interesting dilemma here. So, for me, yeah, definitely when you have more context for anything, you then can make an informed opinion or decision. Uh, but I think that regardless, even when we have a little bit of knowledge for anything, we start forming opinions, and then those opinions could change uh, if we get more and more information. Like, for example, you see a book like that, you automatically might think, yeah, this is bad, but then if you start reading it, it turns out it's about something completely different. You then change your mind. That's I would say that's normal, and that we should give more context to things. But yeah, what do you folks think? Interesting subject. I like the way this is going. Thank you for the questions and for the lively chat debate. But yeah, for people, I think it's the same, because the metaphor, don't judge a book by its cover, goes to say that don't judge people as well. Hama is just taking the piss. Yeah, that's true. Throw a bone and see to the dogs and see what they do. So yeah, I definitely agree. But it's still a nice thing to think about and to discuss. Why not? Um, for yeah, for people, there's definitely some people that I see and say, okay, that guy or that person is insane. But then maybe they change my mind if they start talking and making sense. Growing up, I have heard more of the lines of why we become racist or how we become racist. Interesting. Um, it's not like, yeah, it's a difficult subject. Like, for example, here, there's not a lot of different people with different colored skin in this country in general. There are more and more people from other countries coming in, and that can become an issue. But I've seen some people saying racist things, but they are not meaning to be harmful, not meaning, like, not trying to be hateful, but they just sound that way, which is a bit crazy. And then because they heard something on TV and they heard, like, I don't know, the N word, and then they try and say it, oh, I think that's cool, and they say it, but then you're like, whoa, dude, don't say that. You explain it to them, and then if they're normal, they listen and say, okay, okay, thank you for telling me. But that's just a weird thing that I've seen here with some people, because they don't have that much of a notion of racism. There's other people though that are quite racist, and yeah, that's a serious thing. So yeah, I'm not sure. It would be interesting to me to find like an anthropomorphic or anthropological study that shows where people are like changing their minds about that. Or is it easy for people to change their minds about that, like hating someone just because of the color from their skin is crazy. But yeah, Racism is a learned behavior. Exposure to other racial groups and traditions tends to limit it, but there can be familial learnings that are hard to distance oneself from. Yeah, that's from Old Man. And yeah, that's very, very true. And I haven't, I in like I would see it on TV and stuff, but like in real life, I would see it or hear it sometimes. And if I would like say to people like that's a bit too much, you're being racist or something like that, they would say like, no, no, that's just like a joke. You're taking it too seriously. But that would be their defense. Canada is so multicultural now, and more that come, the more divided it gets. Yeah, here, I think in Europe, definitely that's what's happening as well. It depends on how. I think at least that it depends on how the groups assimilate. Same with Oz or Australia, says Old Man. Here, yeah, I'd say I would say so, but uh, for for Serbia, I think at least I hope, but it sounds a bit logical to me that if people that come here try to assimilate and try to learn the language, so let's say they're from another race, but they're trying to learn Serbian and trying to speak it, people will be quite friendly and like, oh wow, okay, I'll help you, and they feel it's a positive thing. But if there's a group of people that are not trying to assimilate, they kind of get pushed to the side, or people then feel more aggressive, I think, towards them. But that's at least just what is coming to my mind at the moment. I don't know what would be the like. I think when you're in a cultural melting pot, you could be exposed to a lot of different cultures, and that could help you understand them better. But then again, for some people, it could push them further into that trying to protect what they have. They feel that they're losing their identity, and then they feel like the other people are taking something away from them, and then they feel threatened and maybe more aggressive. So that might happen as well. So I think, yeah, if people are introduced to another ethnically different group of people, but if they're introduced a bit slowly, let's say, and they then acquire some of the culture that is in that bigger group, then they'll be accepted better. But if a large wave of people comes then into a country, then that country might feel somewhat threatened. Here they want to change our laws that we have had forever to suit them, and I think if you move to a country, you should follow that country's laws or stay home. Can you name three letters of the alphabet, but they have to be before letter B? Okay, interesting question. But yeah, Cat has an. In what ways do they want to change laws? Yeah, that's a good question from Old Man. What are the laws that will be changed, and how do they want to change them? And I do agree with Cat definitely. When you Old Man already fixed Hammer's question by answering it AAA. Those are the three letters that go before letter B. Nicely put, nicely answered. Yeah, when you come to another country, you should definitely follow their laws, and you should be respectful of their culture, and not just the laws, but just what people are used to. And For example, in Japan, it might be rude to talk on the bus, and if you see that all the people are just silent, just don't talk on the bus. It's proper manners. I'm just giving a simple example, but yeah, I definitely agree with that. That you go to another country, you should follow the laws and regulations and everything in it. Hema, I'm several wines down, but I'm still shape as fucking that's a good one then. Quite witty, and you're keeping sharp. Yeah, sharp as a fucking tack. That's well, not that sharp. Yeah, fair enough. But still, a couple of wines that's and still being sharp. That's an achievement. So you get a good alcohol tolerance there. If you had a heavier meal before that wine, and I'm guessing it's a good defense against the alcohol. But yeah, nice for you. I'm imagining you had then a nice evening with those few drinks. It's a good way to start the weekend and relax. And just Ozzy and I run deep. That's also good. Respect for that. And yeah, I think Kat is going to tell us what the laws are, and he or she is probably writing to inform us about those laws. Yeah, here we go. They took the Bible out of hotels. They want God taken out of national anthem. They are burning down our churches, and they burn our flags. Is that like? Are you saying the government is doing all of that just so that they would appease the people that have come in, or what's like the agenda behind that? Because like in my mind at least, the government will do whatever they think the majority of the people want. So what's the angle that they have there? And for changing the laws in general, I think yeah, it depends on the laws and stuff, but it should be like for important things, there could be like a memorandum where the people vote, and then the law can change if it's like a significantly important thing. Yes, and the government will let them get away with it. Very sad. Yeah, so it's a topic like that. For example, here it's a pretty major issue, and I could get into it a lot, but unfortunately, I won't have time to explain it all. But yeah, the politics can be quite interesting subject, but also quite negative. Okay, Kat, can you support this with evidence? Hotels will supply whatever literature they see fit, and Canada isn't a Christian nation. This smacks of Christian nationalism. This is what Allman says in the chat there. So, yeah, hotels. I don't know if you have like national hotels, but in general, I would think that any hotel could put anything really, any literature or images or anything else that they want, and sometimes they'll apologies, champ. Sorry, it's degraded to this. Uh, it's just where the chat went, so I'm just trying to follow it a little bit while I can. Um, but yeah, as long as we are civil, we share our opinions. I'm I'm good with that. So no worries there. If there's disagreements are fine with me, as long as we don't take it too far in one direction. But yeah, thank you both for being active, and we might get somewhere. And I'm also like learning a few things about you folks and things in general. So yeah, thank you for that as well. But yeah, for me, like uh, any private business like a hotel or anything else can do what they want as long as they're not harming other people. And then if that harms their business, then they go out of business. That's the way it goes, and I think that's how it should go. So that's one thing. And yeah, for like Christianity and Canada not being a Christian nation, or if people want or feel like Canada should be a Christian nation, there could be voting for that, I guess. Not telling you how to run the country, of course, but that's just the way I feel about it. So there, in my opinion, at least, people should be free to say what they want, do what they want, unless they are in one way or another harming other people. In that case, they shouldn't have that option. But otherwise, freedom is a good thing. Old man says, Cat asks, does Canada offer freedom of religion under their character of rights and freedoms? Yeah, that's a good question. Is there like is freedom guaranteed? Is it in the character of rights or like the Constitution? Sorry, the light keeps shifting. And yeah, I would say freedom's very important and probably very important for most people. But then sometimes when we get into like freedom of speech, then people get a bit more one-sided, because if they don't hear something that they uh, wanted, if they hear something that they didn't want to hear, that is, then freedom of speech suddenly is not that good for them. You're a good moderator. Thank you all, man. I try to be, and yeah, I think difference of opinion is good. It can help us as long as we have like an open mind to a certain point. Like for example, I have a lot of opinions on things, but then I am open to changing those opinions if there's enough evidence or things that push me that way. Sorry, Kat says, we were always a Christian nation, and with the arrival of more and more Muslims, the former Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, did whatever he wanted and nobody could stop him. It is, but they don't want. Okay, so when you say that you were always a Christian nation, sorry, it's a loud train. Very loud train, as it turns out. My apologies. Does that mean like you feel that because the majority of people in Canada were Christian, or do you think, or are you saying that as in like it's in your law, it's in the Constitution or anything like that, that Canadians should feel or be Christians, predominantly Christian, says Kat. So the majority of Canadian citizens are Christians, I guess, is the main point here. And would would you support freedoms of other religions or belief systems, um, as long as they are not infringing on your rights as well? Would you say that's a fair thing? And also, yeah, God was in the Charter of Rights and the national anthem. Oh, so was, but that got changed then. And also, like, why or what's the logic behind that change? Are they thinking there's enough people that are not Christian, so they'll get their votes? Is that the thing, or is there like an influence and plot beneath that? Old Man says, Kat, can you point to any point when Canada had a state religion? Like any point in time, I guess, or example. Kat says, exactly 100%. I don't care what religion a person is, but don't go after me. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yes, it was a vote thing, says. Old Man says, sorry, I missed that one. God's in the U.S. Constitution, but they never had a state religion. So that's, yeah, great point, because in the U.S. it's separated, like church and state are separated. And Kat says, yes, it's a vote thing, so I'm guessing that's like the idea is that if they change the laws in this example, it's about religion. So if they change the laws about religion, then those people will probably vote for them, and then they can stay longer and stuff. Interesting. Yeah. Well, here, religion is used to. I didn't like. I'll just mention the example here, but I wish I had more time to talk about it. That and the issues you raised here. But basically, in this country, at the moment at least, because there's a lot of like corruption, religion is used more to skew votes in favor of one party or person. But that's a different situation than what you're describing for Canada. Trump has stated that they won't be allowing any more Muslims to enter the states. I read that last week. Old Man says Canada has never had a state religion. So that's an important thing. Cat says NN. So, yeah, it's an important point that there was never a state religion there. That's the thing that can or that influences a lot of how the country is run. And in the states as well, like there's Christianity. Sure, it's popular and all, but it doesn't run the country in that way. Although, yeah, the president always says in the campaign that they are Christian so that they get the votes and all that. Canada is 53% Christian right now, barely a majority. Yeah, so that is it's I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted because I'll have to end the live unfortunately in just a few minutes. I'm sorry about that, folks. No, but that's what we predominantly were, but now in the heavily populated areas, it's not that way. That's what Kat says in terms of what Old Man said before, that Canada is 53% Christian. So, yeah, I think if you had an influx of people from other countries, like a big influx of that, that can definitely change everything. It can influence the culture and everything else. It shapes the politics as well because politics are everywhere. Old Man says, Kat, your rhetoric about Trump seems to be massively racist. I'm dipping out. Have fun embarrassing, embracing hate. Yeah, hopefully hate is not what's what drives people, and we should try and, whatever it is that we are against or hating, we should try and, stay away from hate, and just look at things more like objectively and with a clearer head. So yeah, try and stay away from just hateful thoughts, folks. Because of you, it's mostly gonna harm you. So we want to avoid that. Anyway, thank you all for the discussion so far. Thank you for joining the chat, and I have to end it now because I have to go myself. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you again soon. Thank you all man, Cat, and the others for joining, and hopefully see you even maybe tomorrow. Take care.